Hi guys, it's Lynn here. I hope everyone is having a brilliant day. Now welcome to part 3 of my indoor houseplant and cacti succulent plant update. As I say, this is in 4 different parts, so if you haven't seen the other videos, do check them out. The links will all be down below in the video description. And I start off today with part 3 in Hans's music room. This is his music room where he does all his music and his recordings. And this is a lovely big window as well here. Again, it's a bit like our living room window. It's mostly north facing. Just get a little bit of sun in the summer, spring and summer. But in the winter, it's pretty sunless. But these are all the plants that love a bright spot, but more shade. And here we have a Clerodendron Thomsoni there. That is doing really well. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous plant. And then we have some Streptocarpuses, and these are blooming beautiful now at this time of year, so it's lovely to see flowers. This one here is absolutely beautiful. Just see if I can show you the flowers. A lovely purple twin bloom there, absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, guys, so beautiful. And then these other Streptocarpus, we have pink flowering Streptocarpuses and all different colours, but these aren't flowering at the moment, these ones. And another Streptocarpus, that is blooming beautiful as well. This is a lovely, this is the polka dot purple one, beautiful purple and white, so gorgeous. And then we have another little Monstera, one of the little monkey face Monsteras, absolutely gorgeous there. This is a cutting from the main mother plant that we've got in our living room, and that's doing really well in here, such a cutie. And then we have the philodendron here. We got, say, lots of philodendrons in our living room that I showed you in the living room update. But this is a smaller plant again from a cutting from the mother plant in the living room. So these are doing very well here. I say this is where Hans does all his music and all his recordings and composing and everything like that. So lovely, peaceful environment for him with the beautiful plants. So now I'm going to show you what plants we've got in our grow room downstairs. Now, this is our grow room, one of our other little grow rooms here that we've recently, this is a new sort of grow room that we put up about 6 weeks ago now. We made a video when we set up the grow room here and put the grow lights on. And this is normally, we used to be a little spare room. We used to just put things in here, and we cleared it all out and made it into another grow room to overwinter some of the taller cacti that are not cold hardy, such as the Pilocereus. They need a minimum winter temperature of 10°C, which is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So another sort of cereus cacti as well that need a more of a warmer winter rest. When I say warm, 50 degrees Fahrenheit is hardly warm, but it's not 5 or 6 Celsius, for example 41 degrees Fahrenheit, that we keep the polytunnel at. So these have to be overwintered indoors, and they're doing really, really well under this in this grow room here. I'll just show you, just close the door and get in here. We have 3 grow lights here. The 2 UFO LED ones by Kingbo, and these are great. They're full spectrum lighting, cheap to run, and it's just enough light to overwinter these cacti because you don't want to encourage them to grow, so they overwinter here. We have a natural window here. This door goes out into our garden, and it gets a lot of natural light, and the sun comes across also, even though it's a little bit far away from the window. It's plenty of light here. But this gives a bit of an extra boost as well because there's no window here, and that gives them a bit of enough light there to carry on with their photosynthesis, so they can overwinter well in the winter. We have another grow light here. This one is the Sansi grow light bulb, and it's the 24-watt one. Absolutely brilliant. We have another 36-watt one on top of our landing where we have our other tall cacti we overwintered, and these lights are fantastic, I have to say. Again, very cost effective to run, and we just have these grow lights on for the same amount of time that it would naturally be light outside. As soon as it starts to go dark, then we switch them off because we don't want to leave them on for 12 hours or anything like that, because we don't want these plants to grow. They are overwintering, so we have them on. That's on probably from about 8:30 in the morning to about 3:45 to 4 o'clock. Now it's sort of getting darker earlier and earlier. And show you what we've got first of all here. Now these here are our monkey puzzle trees, and these we normally do have out in the yard, but we brought them in at the moment because we've had a few very cold nights, and they're still young plants that I've grown from seed, so I prefer to have them kept indoors just while we have this bit of a cold spell. But on mild winter days they can be put back out again to enjoy the light and fresh air outside. And then here we have one of our large euphorbias. Here are euphorbia succulent plants, and this one is a Euphorbia triangularis, And a gorgeous, gorgeous plant here, very sort of old. It's one I've had for about 4 years, possibly even 5 years now, that I got from Urban Plant Life here in Dublin, a great garden centre, and a gorgeous old plant that they've had for a number of years. And this particular Euphorbia here was actually in some films, apparently, according to Sam, our friend who runs the nursery at Urban Plant Life. So it's very special. Not quite sure what films it's been in, but it's a little film star anyway. And this here is a Euphorbia tiracali, commonly known as the sticks on fire, and it's wrongly called a pencil cactus, even though it's not a cactus, but it is just a euphorbia. But because of its pencil-like stems, it's got that nickname. It's a very large plant as well. It's probably about 4 feet high, in fact almost as tall as me, and I'm 5 feet. So lovely plant there. It was flowering in the summer, but obviously now it's overwintering. But they're still sort of trying to send out a bit of growth. As you can see, I think these grow lights encourage, even though we only have them on for the natural daylight length in winter, that does sort of encourage new leaves anyway. And this one here is a large euphorbia. This is pretty much a Euphorbia ingens. Again, this is one I got from Urban Plant Life as well, and it was a cut-in, and it has grown incredible, I have to say. When I got this as a cut-in, it was up to there about 4 years ago, and this is all of the new growth. As you can see, it's beautiful euphorbia. Again, the euphorbias, they ideally need to be kept above 10 Celsius, 50°F. This grow room here, as you can see there, it's about just over 60 degrees Fahrenheit, about 17 degrees Celsius. So this is a good temperature, and it is very cold outside today. We don't heat it in here, so these kept quite warm from the natural heat from the house. We do have a radiator, but we have it switched off in here because we don't want the plants to get warm. We want to keep them cool and dry, so we switch that off. But they do well at that temperature here, and beautiful euphorbia. Now here's another euphorbia. I think this is another type of Euphorbia ingens, and this is larger than me. It's about 5.5 feet. Very tall one as well. Beautiful euphorbia. I've had that probably for about 10 years now. It's very lovely plant. And then here we have my that I recently bought a lovely large Cereospiralis cactus. And if you didn't see the video that I made when I bought this plant, then do check that video out. Links will be up above. And I've also made a care video on how to care for Cereospiralis. We have about 3 different types. Well, they say different types, they are the same, Cereospiralis, but three of these cacti, all different sizes, and they do really well. And I've made a care video on how to care for this rather unique and wacky looking cactus. So do check that out if you haven't done already and you want to learn a bit more about this cactus. Links also up above. And here we have some more cereus type of cacti here, all different varieties. This one here is a Pilosa cereus and has a lovely sort of woolly cephalium there. And this one flowered for us in the summer. It flowers every year. Beautiful white. Not a very nice scented flower, but it's a beautiful flower. And seems to be doing very well as well. Seems to be putting out a lot of new hair also. And here more Pilosa cereus. So Pilosa cereus are these blue looking cacti, and they're not cold hardy at all. They'll literally go to mush and rot very quick in temperatures below 10. So especially if they're cool, especially if they're damp. If you have a more of an arid climate, but then they can take a little bit cooler than that. But here, different types. Again, more Pilosa cereus. This one here's another type of Pilosa cereus. Not sure of the variety of this one. It's got a lovely pup at the top of it there. Gorgeous. And this one is this is one of my favourites. This is Pilocereus gunelli. And I always think it looks like a little miniature saguaro. It's gorgeous with all its little arms coming off. It's a beautiful, heavily spined cactus here. Gorgeous. Again, this has to be overwintered, minimum of 50°F because it's not a cold hardy one. But it's doing well there. More Pilosa cereus is here. Some very tall ones. And these here, I mean, these are very tall. This one here is about 6 feet high, and it's one that Hans, these 3 actually, are ones that Hans grown from seed a long time ago, now about 20 years ago. And they're doing very, very well, quite remarkable. And say Hans brought these over when he lived in Sweden. So they seem to be doing very well here. And then another, this one here is Marginatus cactus here. And Pachysceris marginatus. This one, I'm just pointing, as you can see that's that one there. This one here is another sort of a, I have got the name of this one, and I do know the name, but I can't remember it offhand. But I'll pop the name across the screen so you know what this one is here. This is another one as well. They're both part of the same plant. This one was the top part, and this one is that where the cutting has come off. When we moved house, it broke, and we managed to propagate the top part easily, and it sent two new growths at the top, which is gorgeous. Again, now I have got the name of this. I'm always forgetting the name of this plant here, this cactus, but I have got the name of it, so I put it across the screen so you know what it is, just so it might help you if you have these cactus yourselves and you want to ID them. This is one, for some reason I just seem to have a mental block on this type of cereus. But we have a few different ones of this one as well. This one's looking a little bit yellow, probably going to be a bit of fertiliser in the springtime. And that's just a lovely clyster cactus here. It's a lovely, lovely one as well. Now these are some of my smaller euphorbias as well here. And this one is a gorgeous euphorbia, but I haven't got the ID for this. I'm not sure what it is, but this is one I've had for about 25 years. And look at all this lovely, lovely branches coming all off. It's amazing. And this one here also is a gorgeous euphorbia. And I've got the name of this one. I can never remember off the top of my head, as I say. But this one is Euphorbia. I did have the name for it, but it's one of them ones that you don't see very often, so I may not be able to re-find the ID. But Clyde Morris, if you're watching this, Clyde has an amazing Euphorbia collection. If you can ID this for me, please let me know. It's rather a lovely, wacky and unusual Euphorbia. And this one here is another Cereus spiralis, but it got an attack. This was a couple of years ago. It had a, I can't remember actually whether it was last winter or the winter before, but it came down with spider mite at the top. We treated it with neem oil, but to get rid of the scabbiness, we had to cut the top off, and it's healed up really well. So hopefully it should side shoot next spring. But that's doing well. I have another one also in my office and grow room as well that's doing well. And that's pretty much that there with the cacti and the euphorbias. And then here we have some of our pelargoniums, well, all of our pelargoniums. These we normally have outside in the yard, but we brought them into overwinter here in the grow room because they're not particularly frost free, and we do get a lot of rain. We kept them out in our cold greenhouse. We have a big polytunnel that we heat, and then we have a greenhouse that we keep some of the garden plants in, but these sort of went a little bit fungusy when they were there last year, so we're keeping these in here. Again, keeping them cool temperature, and they're still flowering, as you can see, beautiful flowers on these. We have a lot of different varieties. This is a lovely one too, and this one is one of them lovely leaf varieties, and this one here is a gorgeous one that our wonderful friend Paula gave us as well. It's doing very well, beautiful leaves on that one, gorgeous. And all of these as well. And then I have my Venus flytraps here. I have some Sarracenias as well, but they're all being kept outside because they're very cold hardy, and they sort of go back to more or less to their rhizomes and then regrow again in the spring. But these are the Venus flytraps. Now these are being kept cool as well, still kept with rainwater in there because they still need to be kept moist all the time. And because it's December, these are still, they're sort of starting to go to the end of their growth now, but by January all these would have died back and go back into the ground, into the rhizomes. So a lot of people, when they overwinter Venus flytraps, a lot of people think they've died because they just go back to just down into the pot and they think the plant's died, but they are just resting. They've got little tiny little rhizomes inside where all these grow from, all the leaves grow from, and the traps. And when it dies back, it regrows again in the spring. So because this is overwintered, probably about 15 degrees Celsius, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, it may or may not overwinter properly, but I'm hoping it will sort of overwinter and die back and then regrow again. And here I have seed pods. I'm going to be harvesting them soon. And I've made a video on how to harvest seeds from Venus flytraps. So if you haven't seen that video, do check that video out. Links will be up above should you get seeds on your Venus flytraps. So this is well long overdue to be harvested. As you can see, the flower stems completely died back, so I'm going to be cutting that off and harvesting the seeds on that one later. Now here I have a rib Saladopsis that I have hanging up. The rib Saladopsis cacti are not as hardy as some of the Slumbergeras, and that's the only reason why I brought this one in. That's actually a Slumbergera that's in the pot with these Reap Saladopsis. I have a lot of my Slumbergeras in the polytunnel, but this one didn't do so well last year, so to be on the safe side, I'm overwintering this here in the grow room. It's hanging up there so it gets plenty of light direct from the window. And that's it, and so that's it. I guess that was the plants in the music room, and the Pelargoniums in here in the grow room, monkey puzzles, and all of the tall, serious, non-hardy cacti and the big euphorbias. And I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and thank you so much for watching all that, the houseplant and cacti succulent plant update. I know it's been long videos, and thank you for your amazing comments and all your support, guys. And if you want to know a bit more on how to care for and grow cacti and succulents, then please do subscribe to my channel, and also check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. Oh, I've got one plant here. This one here is a cloister cactus, cloister cactus judensis. This judensis, no, Behuensis, sorry, Behuensis. This one here, that one was hiding. This one I normally keep in the polytunnel. I've got another one of these that's also in the polytunnel, but this one was very wet in the soil when it'd been outside, so I decided to overwinter that indoors to help the pot dry out a bit quicker. So that's the only reason why that one's there, and we've got it tied up there so it doesn't fall over. Anyway, that's me finished now. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of plant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video,